just in case, because I don't trust everything in life. Oh, I gotta switch my pillow out. Sorry, I got these lovely pillows for Mother's Day, and
Oh, I love it.
yeah, they're all different ones.
Oh,
So
I saw that one. I was watching because I've been kind of in and out today with the fest, because teaching and students. But whenever I had some time, I'd log in, and you've got to be exhausted.
I am, and hey, I've got 8 more hours to go.
Oh,
But my partner in crime is in person right now with our troop. He taught a workshop this morning, and they have a show at 6 o'clock, and then he'll be back to help do the latter part of the night. So after I have one more thing that I'm responsible for, and then I play in a couple of things, but it's not quite the same as like being responsible.
yeah.
So
Being responsible is a lot
it
of
is.
responsibility.
And we've had, oh, you will make, let me look at my list before we go live. You will make, oh no, where did my list go? Here we go. You will make our 104th performer so far today, which is,
What?
yeah. So we've had folks from 14 countries, so it's super exciting.
That's the best. That is, I'm so impressed with what you guys are doing. So just know that.
Well, thank you. Well, I'm going to go ahead and take us live. So at this point, anything might show up because it's always faster than we think it is.
Mhm.
It tells you it's live, and then it's already been live for a while. So, and then we'll just chat. You can ask me questions, I can ask you questions, and we'll just catch up and talk for like 20, 25 minutes. And then, yeah, it'll be super fun.
I love it. And I want to give you permission in case you don't give it to yourself. If you want to log off 5 minutes early and just close your eyes, like
I
hide under a
appreciate that.
blanket, I fully support that.
Oh, thank you. I actually have an hour break. So they're supposed to be live streaming the show that they're performing in person.
Mhm.
So I get a break during all that so I can get some dinner and all that good stuff.
Eat, yeah,
So
yeah.
awesome. Well, it looks like we are live. So welcome back to those of you who've been watching the Everybody Get In Here Festival today. I am still Carla Dingle. It hasn't changed. It could later today. And I'm here with the fabulous Kat Kenny, and I'm so excited because we are literally meeting for the first time online in this chat. We talked for 2 minutes before this, and we're going to get to know each other, and you all get to be a part of all of that. So Kat, I'm going to have you start out with introduce yourself. Tell me about you and your improv backstory and all that good stuff.
Sure. So yeah, my name is Kat. She's not lying. That's my name. And I have been improvising for, oh my goodness, I don't know, a long time. Maybe 20 years. Teaching for almost 15. I have my BFA in theater. And yeah, I coach improv teams and do a weekly drop-in class and teach workshops for festivals and different theaters who will have me in person and on Zoom. And I do private coaching for acting and some speech and diction work and public speaking and audition prep. And it brings me great joy. I say this a lot, but I am stupid. It's so dumb that I make a living doing this, and I'm grateful. Every day, every single day, I'm grateful that this is how I get to pay my bills. I waited tables for a really long time, and um, it was freeing to be able to put that aside. Actor, just living up to the stereotype, and do this. So it's a little bit about me, but yeah, everything I do really comes from a place of gratitude. I just, I feel lucky.
Awesome. And so did you get into improv later in life? Did you, or acting or theater? Like, when did you catch the bug? Whether it's theater or improv, it's all the same to me.
Right, it is. I agree. I was very shy as a child, couldn't look at people, couldn't talk, was like a shadow. And then I discovered theater and I was about 13 and got involved in the Youth Actors Guild where I would do tech backstage in exchange for like free classes on Saturday. I'm now the director of the Youth Actors Guild, so it's really kind of cool to have taken that over. And yeah, went to college, got my BFA, really pursued it in high school, drama club nerd, proud of it. And, so improv has always kind of been a part of that, is part of my training. But I really got hooked when I was in New York. I lived there for about 6 years and went to a UCB show. And that was my first introduction, was UCB. And then after that, I just nerded out and wanted to be an improv ninja and took everywhere I could and still take anytime I can because being a student is the best.
Oh my gosh, I feel like your story mirrors mine in so many ways. So I started as like a musical theater kid when I was like 5 or 6 years old. There was a community theater in Doraville, Georgia, which is a suburb of Atlanta, Georgia, in the south of the United States. For those of you guys watching it from elsewhere, and it was like my home, my haven. I was there 4 days a week, almost like 40 hours in the summer a week, and it's sort of where I got my acting chops. I don't know. I think they still say stuff like that.
Still say,
I
yeah.
yeah, I learned like everything, like from dance. Like I learned clogging, which those of you who don't know, that's like basically square dancing and tap dancing all combined. Super weird. And that's sort of how I grew up. And I went to college as well for theater. I went to the University of Georgia. Got my I think it's called a BA. I don't know there. In the theater program there. And then I sort of shifted and had a family and life changed, but I saw a Second City show on a cruise line and was like, this is what I need to be doing, because my life just didn't have room for scripted work anymore, right? Like I couldn't rehearse, a certain amount of times a week or have this many weekends off from my job. And so when I came back, I was like, I'll see if there's an improv class. And if there was, I took it. And it was through Charlotte Comedy Theater, which is celebrating their 20th anniversary this August. And their founder and instructor trained in Chicago. So that's sort of how I landed into improv. But I too teach acting and improv for a living. I'm lucky to say I'm getting paid for doing this, which is so weird. Just like you said, I had like a real job for way too many years, and now like this is a job, and that's just like mind-boggling sometimes.
Yeah, to me, that's the goal. I mean, and that's everyone's goal is different, right? Whatever makes you happy. Some people want to be famous, some people, whatever it is, yay. And I love that part of my day is not like putting on a suit and going and sitting at a desk or whatever. I love that part of my day is playing and make believe and creativity. And I think every now and then I'll have a glimpse at how rare that is, that so many people don't get to do that at all. And I think it can be taken for granted, if that makes sense.
No, for sure. And I think that was really apparent to me like in the pandemic, because I teach a lot of students that are like from 9 to 18ish age.
Yeah.
And we like my acting studio, we were online for 3 months, but June 1st, 2020, we went back in person and have been teaching in person since June 1st, 2020. Very small classes, no more than 8 kids in a class, 6 feet apart, mask, screen, all of that good stuff. But after, I could just see that for some of these kids, not only was the play so important, but the connection. Like this was the only human interaction that they had for months on end. And just the joy that performing and creating and being someone else in the midst of chaos brought to them was reinvigorating in a way that I didn't think I needed. But now looking back, I know that like maybe I really needed that to happen so that I could be a better instructor.
Oh, preach. My students make me a better instructor, a better performer, I think a better human often. And it's usually like no shade to the adults, but because they teach, I get taught all the time, but kids and teens, there's something there. Yeah, we're going, oh yeah, that was a really important lesson that 7-year-old just bestowed upon me. Thank you. Yeah, put it in my pouch, my little happiness knowledge pouch, whatever.
Yeah, I feel educated and then old all at the same time sometimes when they're like doing stuff, but then I also feel like it helps me still be relevant because I'm getting up there in years. And I mean at this point, like I could be some of their grandmothers, which is frightening. And it's just, I don't know, there's just this uninhibited joy. And I even see it in my teenagers, which blows my mind because
Yes,
as a teenager, I was like, don't look at me. I'm weird. I'm awkward.
right.
Right. And they're like, I'm weird and awkward.
Yes.
Right. And I'm like, oh, why weren't I you when I was this age?
Yeah. The earlier we can do that, I think the earlier someone gives us permission to be a weirdo. I call my students weirdos. Hey, weirdo, we're all fellow weirdos. We're all wonderfully weird in our own way. And I think when someone gives us permission to do that, the sooner that happens, the better, because it sticks with us. And we're like, cool, I'm going to let my weirdo flag fly. And whatever that looks like for me is okay. And yeah, so someone gave those kids permission, probably you, weirdo, and well
Yeah, I'm
done.
so
um,
weird. I'm so weird. And I like to think of weird as a wonderful word. I don't think of
yeah,
it as a negative thing. And I think that's one of
either.
the things I try to instill, especially in my youth and my teens, is that like be an individual, be that weirdo. You'll find your group, your I don't know what the right word is anymore.
Right.
What does Taylor Swift call her posse? I don't know.
Your people,
Whatever. See, that's
people
how
you
old I
fit.
am. Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll find the people that you connect with. And one of the things I get to do every year is we audition the teens every year for improv teams, and I get to put together new teams every year. And it's so fun to like, I feel almost like a matchmaker, like, ooh,
Matchmaker,
I want to see
matchmaker.
these two play on a team together. And, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I'm not fantastic at it, but man, when it works, it's just incredible to watch these people like support each other in a way that only an improv community can do. And I don't think people outside of the improv world understand how uplifting or destructive an improv community can be to
Oh,
people.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you nailed it. It can do one of two things. And I have met people who I feel like improv has broken them, and it makes me angry. I feel some kind of way about that, because that is the antithesis of what we should be doing. And what the name of art, the name of I don't know, pretending correctly, if you will. You don't do this. You don't play by our thing, our rules, our school of thought correctly, so you're no good, or maybe just being run over. But yeah, that hurts that sounds cheesy, but it's true. It hurts my heart. It makes me angry, because how dare someone take that from somebody else? Take that joy. Your creativity isn't good enough. It can be constructive, it can be a whole lot of things, and always lead with love and always come from a place of finding the joy. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think that's been one of the things that was so apparent to me this year with doing all of this online work on Zoom and stuff like that, is that I've always been in a pretty great community here in Charlotte, and I'm sort of spoiled in that.
Good. Good.
Yeah, and then to hear the horror stories and the tragedy and the people just looking for connections. I'm as much as I want the pandemic to go away tomorrow, today, like right this second, like
Good.
there's been such incredible connections and joy that have come out of it, and providing spaces to people who don't feel comfortable in real life spaces in their world. And we did a panel earlier today about making sure that continues, that there is a place for people who don't have a place in their real world. And so uh, you're right. It's heartbreaking to hear, and we could get into all the tumbling and crumbling of some of the big theaters, right? The big well-known theaters this year, and I was really following that because I was going to head to Chicago last summer and do some intensives.
Yeah.
And we look at things sometimes with these idealistic eyes instead of realistic eyes, and so it's been really an eye-opening year.
Yeah. It really has. Yeah. And I'm sorry in one way that those institutions, I guess, aren't there. Not so much because I understand that there was a Mecca, right? And I understand that there's a hole there. I have friends who moved to Chicago, who moved to New York with the intentions of studying there, and they're like, "What's happening? What?" So part of me goes, "Oof, I'm sorry for that," and ultimately, I'm not sorry at all, because we can do better. Like we can do better. The people who are doing the work in a way that is inclusive, or the people who we're going to get it wrong. I've gotten it wrong. I can tell you that. And people who are willing to listen and learn, that is everything. And so it might be a little bit of a, what do I do? I'm in Chicago. I'm in New York. What am I doing? It's the Renaissance, right? There's going to be smaller people, and Zoom has proven that you don't need to be, I don't know, IO or UCB or any of these places that were thought of as somehow better than other places, you know.
I think you're right. We're like seeing a renaissance. I love that word, improv renaissance. I think we should make t-shirts.
Happening. It's
Let's make
happening.
some t-shirts. It is happening, and you're seeing incredible theaters step up and fill like some of these gaps that perhaps are there. You know, theaters like the Hideout Theater, Highwire, like all these great theaters that are popping up online communities. Although you know, obviously Hideout has and Highwire both have their spaces in their respective cities, but creating these great communities and filling some of these gaps. And you don't have to go to Chicago now to take a class from Joe Bill, because Joe Bill's willing to teach wherever folks are asking for him, right? Same thing
Right.
like Paul Valancourt and Katie Shute. And so like just like this whole world has opened up. I feel like sometimes I joke around that I just walked into like the improv Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, where it's like I can touch everything and taste everything. Whereas before it was like this idealistic world that I aspired to get to.
Yeah, and it's here. You can create it, and it's sort of everywhere. Yeah, not just schools, but individuals. Absolutely. Yeah.
So, who are some people that inspire you in the improv world or the acting world that kind of light your fire, I guess?
I like that question. How much time you got?
We
Um,
got 7 more hours before our day is
Perfect.
over, so we're
Um,
good.
I love the people I play with. I feel spoiled by the people I get to play with. Genuinely, there's a level of support and playfulness and just everyone wanting to get better together. And my house teams and my community, I'm also very grateful for my improv communities, even just locally. My friends and fellow players inspire me. Um, I'm really inspired by Three Pete. Three Pete is an all black improv team, and I love them. I love Namdi. I love Tara DiFrancisco. Um, there's a lot of people. Jay Suko. I really got introduced to him online. Um, I just am, but Paul Valancourt. Um, I'm a big fan of you. I'm going to say it like what you inspire me, and I've been following you. I was so happy when I said you reached out to me. What you post in I'm not going to Dingle Drama
Oh,
Resource.
my resource page. Yeah, my resource. I
Love
have a
that.
resource page, folks, if you want to learn more
I
stuff.
love it. People I've never even met, Lakshmi,
Oh my
people all
gosh.
over the world who I've never met, but I've seen them do panels. But I watch those panels. I watch, people go live, and I follow different pages, and I'm just inspired by what people are doing and how they're doing it. Like this, the Everybody Get In Here Fest. Shut up, shut up. That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm
It's
in meetings with
amazing.
Jill Bernard, and I'm like, what? Why am I in a
Oh,
meeting with Jill Bernard? Like,
oh,
what? That doesn't seem right. And it is right in so many levels. It's just hard to sometimes believe that. Yeah, tell folks where you're actually located, Kat. Where's home for you?
home is West Palm Beach, Florida. Um, and that's the southeast of the country for people watching from abroad. Way down there. Yeah, West Palm Beach, Florida. And that's my home. I'm a Florida native, born
Awesome.
and raised. Yeah.
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 So I too am a fan. You mentioned Jay Suko, love Paul Valancourt. Paul Valancourt was like one of the first. I jokingly call myself an improv stalker. So when like classes were going up in the beginning, like he was one of the first classes I took. Katie Shute was one of the first classes I took, and I still am like I'm connected with these people now. And like Katie did our panel today. Paul's teaching a workshop in a couple of weeks, and it's just like for me, it's so grounding when you meet these people who sometimes we put up on a pedestal, right or wrong. I think we're
Right.
all guilty. And they just turn out to be even better than you can have imagined.
Yes,
And I think that's part of being improvisers. And it's very inspiring to me to be around people like that.
I agree. And I want to give a shout out to someone else who I'm a fan of is Michelle Gilliam. I've taken some of her jams and I haven't been there in a while. I just haven't been able to attend. And I love seeing everyone be like that group she created. I feel like I found my community. I feel like I have a place I can play. And I'm just such a big fan of people. It's what the Black Improv Alliance is doing, creating a platform for people to come and play and have a voice. Yeah, and feel like you belong instead of like you have to prove yourself. You have to prove your chops and get through levels 1 through 5 to prove you're good enough to get on. I don't know. Just you belong, regardless of what your journey is. If you're doing this as someone who's retired and is just doing this for fun, or someone who's I want to be on Saturday Night Live, whatever your end goal is, there's certain groups online who I see just fostering a place of support. And Jill Bernard, oh, you
Oh my
mentioned
gosh, isn't she?
fan, fan.
I,
Yeah,
yeah, she's
Twin
phenomenal.
City Improv as well, and all of that.
There's
Yeah.
so much out there, and I feel like this, I keep calling the pandemic like the great improv equalizer as well, because it's like everyone is on, you walk into a Zoom room or you turn on your camera in a Zoom room, and it's like we're all on the same level, right? We're all on the same playing field. We're all in this together. And I think improvisers are so resilient, and we've, as a global community, made it such a priority this year to take care of each other. And
Yes.
to me,
Oh,
that's the greatest win of this whole pandemic. Like, I've learned, oops, the dog is barking. I've learned so much from just like boundary check-ins and just asking people how are they feeling today, right? Like, I'm not really in a great mood for improv. Well, let's see what we can do to help you, right? And so I think those weren't things that were, we know the people in our own community so well sometimes that we don't stop and check in on each other. But I think that's probably even more important as we start going back in real life to check in on the people that you play with, because, we talk about I've got your back, but what does that mean? And what does
what
that
does,
look like?
yeah, how do we make that actionable in a way that's not just I'm going to support and agree to your choice on stage, but absolutely off stage, at practice, out of practice. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Kat, if you could describe yourself as what kind of improviser are you? What kind of player are you? So if your teammates were to tell me all about playing with you, how would they describe you?
Selfish. No, I don't know. I the worst. I don't know. I think probably up for anything. I will follow you. I'm like I'm in it. I'm in it to the end, and I think that comes across. I don't know. What a great question, Carla. I was like, I don't know. I don't know. I think probably just that I will follow you. If I'm on stage with you, I hope that people feel supported and that you're just not alone. And I'm going to make you look good because to me, that's what we do as improvisers is we make each other look good. And so that's my goal.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I feel like that's a great place to stop because you have made, I hope that we made you look good because I want people to know. Tell people where they can find you and how they can take classes with you. I love your drop in name, even like that is so exciting for me. So tell people more about that.
Thank you. I do a drop-in class every Monday, 6:30 and 8 o'clock on Mondays. And it's Improv Joy. And you can find me at Kat Kenny Improv. I have a Facebook page or Kat Kenny Improv on Instagram. And let me know if you'd like to attend. It's a pay what you can class. I have a lot of people who don't pay anything, and I love that because everybody gets to play. And like I said, I coach teams, and I'm just going to put this out to the universe. I am really interested in starting to take my workshops and my classes different places, so different festivals and different theaters. So I'm just going to put that to the universe. If you think, I want to work with that selfish person, um, feel free to reach out to me, friends.
Awesome. Yeah. And I would highly recommend it. I have so many Facebook friends and Zoom friends that are like, you have to take a class with Kat. I teach on Mondays, but now I don't teach on Mondays. Well, not always. So I have like one Monday off. So I will be there for some improv joy on my next free night. So I'll drop some of Kat's links into the Facebook chat after we finish this up. But thank you so much for taking time out of your Saturday to just get to know me and share with hopefully the whole world all the awesomeness that is Kat.
Well, thank you for taking this time, friend. Go close your eyes for like 10 seconds.
I have a whole hour. I'm good. I've got a whole hour. I can have dinner, can do all of that good stuff. But for those of you watching, the Everybody in Here Festival continues with Queen City Comedy. We are crossing our fingers and hoping that in about 6 to 10 minutes, you will see a live stream from Con Carolinas here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Our Now Are the Foxes team playing live in person for a bunch of people dressed up in cosplay costumes. So how much more fun can that be? Hopefully that'll work. But if not, we're definitely back at 7:30 for more improv tonight. So thank you all again. I always like to wave awkwardly goodbye as we stop the live stream. And everyone follow Kat Kinney Improv, and we'll see you soon.
Big fan of waving awkwardly.
I know. I do it every time, and it's so awkward. It's so
I've seen you do that. I've seen you do it, and I was like, yes, lean into it. Like, here's the part where I wave awkwardly, and I'm like, yes.
And I make everyone do it too, and it's like so silly. We're all like, "Rah." So, but and I always like that. Sometimes I'll capture that as like the screenshot to make the thumbnail for the video, so that it's even more obnoxious. It's like everyone's like. So, well, thank you so much. This was just so lovely meeting and connecting with you. And I feel like we have so much in common. I'd love to spend hours and hours talking with you. So we will, because I feel like you teach kids and acting, and I do all of that as well. And sometimes folks need new resources and like new ideas for the classroom. So maybe once this is over, we can schedule a time and collaborate and share some best practices and such.
I would love that. I would love that. Thank you so much. I've been really looking forward to meeting you. I've had so many people tell me, you need to meet Carla. So.
And it's the same thing. Charlotte Brown is like so excited. Yes. So I didn't even look at the chat. I don't even know if people were sending comments. I've had producers all day, but this was one I didn't have it. So.
That's fine. That's fine. Go eat your dinner, friend.
Thank you. Thank you. And you have a good night as well.
Okay.
All right. Bye.